everyone, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a relaxing Sunday and things are not too crazy for you. Yeah, it's Sunday and I'm here. I made it this Sunday. Last Sunday I was not able to make it, but I'm here and we're gonna play some Roots of Pacha. So I feel like my hair, did I get sunburned? Possibly. I don't know. Lighting be weird. But anyway, it is that time of year. I possibly got some sunburn. Yeah, welcome to the stream. If you didn't see it last time, I did do some pink in my hair, mostly on the underside. So it's pretty cool. It's just like, you know, you'll see like whimsical bits of pink. And I got me a new shirt. It's Kuromi. And it's so cute. I love like the spooky tree vibes in the background. So that's what I'm digging about it, so I get that. Hi, Pretty Kitty. Hi, Afro. How are you doing? It's good to see you today. I hope you're having a good Sunday and you're relaxing. I have some tea with me. My Pusheen cup. Here. We'll do it this way so you can see Pusheen. Got me some, green tea. It's peppermint green tea. That's good. Good stuff. I like some peppermint in my tea. For the longest time, I did not like peppermint tea, and I love peppermint. But for some reason lately, I've been on a peppermint kick out of nowhere. Hello, you're amazing. Thank you so much, Snappy. Thank you. I hope you're having a good Sunday and everything's chill for you. Welcome. I'm gonna play some Roots of Pacha, and some ladies are gonna join me here and there. They're out grabbing dinner right now. And of course, it's a chill night, so we're just gonna take things slow and they can join when they want. How are you, my dear? I'm good. I took a nap today, and then I got up and I was gonna try to be productive and do some art, and then just didn't feel like it. Do you ever just get that way where you had something planned you wanted to do and work on, and then you just didn't feel like it? I didn't. So I was like, you know what? I'll just start getting ready for stream early and get on here a little bit before 8. I know I was like, I'll be on at 8. I never stick to a time very well. I'm either here early or late. But I'm here early. I'm doing good though. I'm doing good. I'm ready to play some games. Trying to see what all. I did all my notifications, so that's good. We're done with that. Just looking. Put my phone on silent so I'm not interrupted. But yeah, I'm doing good. Just relaxing. With some tea. Gonna play some Pacha. And wait for the ladies to show up. I think. What else have I done this weekend? I've done a lot of sleeping. I think my body really needed it. It was a long work week. And I have slept a lot of hours. But it was worth it. I also have these little chocolate morsels, the dark chocolate. Does anybody else eat dark chocolate morsels? I just like put them in my freezer and they get like super cold. Otherwise they'd probably just melt here. And that's why I like to snack on just some dark chocolate here and there. I don't have my dark chocolate. But yeah, we're gonna play some Pacha. Maybe I should start this thing. Maybe. Maybe not. Alright, let's do this. Let me pull my keyboard closer. Like, my keyboard's like way far away. And we got this thing going on. Try not to spill my tea on anything. We definitely don't want to spill tea on the keyboard. That would not be good. I'm hoping the game might be a little loud. I didn't think about that. I turned on the game a little bit. Is the game too loud or is it about right for you guys? I never know. That's probably about right, isn't it? Play. We're gonna play. And I don't remember what corner I need to be in for this game, so we're just gonna leave my face right where it's at right now. Did I set it up for? Oh yeah. Okay, I was like, where do I hit multiplayer? I forgot already. We're gonna leave it for multiplayer because the ladies will be joining at some point. Let's see, Momo has the game, Rain has the game, and Lemon has the game, so I think the only one that hasn't joined this game yet is Lemon, but yeah. So I gotta get her to join. And going to do a thing. There we go. And I will make it where they can scare me half to death when they jump in. Because I won't be able to hear them join Discord until they speak, which is scary. Jet Rambler! Howdy! Hello, Jet. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're having a good Sunday. I'm having a great weekend. That is awesome. I'm glad. I slept a lot. Let's see. Let's pet the bunny. Trying to get to the bunny to be high enough friends that it can go do stuff like fetch. Doesn't trust you enough. It's getting closer, but let's see. Oh, bunny went outside. Come back, bunny. No, come back, come back. I want you to follow me. Follow me, bunny. And then me too. And yesterday I made some peach barbecue ribs and won a contest giveaway thingy. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Peach barbecue? Oh, I've heard of mixing like is it mango? Maybe it is peach. No, apricot and barbecue is really good too. So, like, you ever make like the crock pot dish with the apricot, the barbecue, and the little cocktail sausages, and you like put them in there and just let it simmer, and it's so good. I'm sure yours is like 10 times more professional than that, but I'm just saying peach sounds good. I love some peach. Alright, we're gonna shear you before people come in and take away my ability to shear you. We're gonna shear you too. And show you some love because you're just like, I don't want to ride you. I just want to make sure you're all happy. Are you happy? Good. And then they're gonna go up and like, but congratulations on winning that contest, Jet. That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm just gonna gather some things. Shane! Welcome! Haha, I don't know about that. I did go to culinary school, but that was years ago, and I really learned is hate cooking for folks. Oh my gosh, so you went to school and decided, yeah, no, this is not for me. You know, that's perfectly acceptable. So So what do you do now, if you don't mind me asking? What career did you change to? Are you still deciding? But it's still, I imagine you learned some really awesome cooking skills. So now you just cook for a hobby, it sounds like, which is great. Cook what you want for you that makes you happy. I'm medically retired from the Navy now? Oh, okay. Nothing wrong with that. So sit back, be retired, cook some meals, and enter some contests. Sounds like fun though. What did I just pick? Wild amaranth. Okay. It's like, what is that? I hadn't seen that grown yet. And I don't think these are ready. We're just gonna keep looking around and see what all needs to be harvested. Those don't need to be harvested. I bet those are butternut squashes. And those are tomatoes. I feel like nothing ever makes it to the bin in case we need it. I feel like it gets made into food and not saved. So we're gonna save some of these in case we need them for a recipe. And like the amaranth, I'm pretty sure we need that for something. Although this should go in the herbs, not the foods. Put it in the herbs. Herbs. Oh, well there's food in here with the herbs. This is so confusing. Maybe this is processed food. We'll just add it to it. Yep, 32 years young, retired and living my semi-best life. Well, I mean, that's good. I hope you are, you know, not so medically inclined that you can't, like, you know, I'm sure it's like pain related, which is terrible, but I hope you enjoy your time and go do things, and thank you for your service, you know? It's not something everybody can do, and I do not wish that career on anybody, honestly. Okay, we're gonna dry all these guys. Oh. A wild froth? How do you... Oh, that dude. I was like, how do you do that? It's mostly mental health issues and an ankle I broke in 3 places. Ow! Oh my gosh. Yeah, mental health is no joke. Take care of yourself, 100%. And then the ankle 3 places? No. I have yet to break anything other than a pinky toe. I would not know what to do. Okay, so we loaded up, I think, as many tomatoes in there as we can. What is this? Fermented wild eggplant. Ooh. That sounds yummy. Alright, where's my ride? I don't even know. When you lose your animal, you just use this horn. Joffrey, Michigan! Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Throw. Thanks, Jane. Rambler. Oh, Michigan handing out the kisses. Look at you. Hey, I called Pokemon. There was too much going on at the time for me to be concerned or even notice the ankle. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Well, I'm glad you are safe now. I'm glad you were safe. Let's see. We are going to... Isn't there a way to just, like, hover it and transfer? Oh, okay, it's just X. There we go. X, X. All those oreganos. I wish you could still put plant fiber in there. That's so... I don't know what the heck you're supposed to do with all the plant fiber, since you can't use it for anything anymore. You leveled up. But yes. Oh, let's give out some hugs. I haven't done the hugs yet this stream. Joffrey gets the cookies! Ah, Joffrey. 500 cookies. But yeah, thank you, Michigan and Joffrey, for being here. I hope y'all Sunday is going pretty good. I'm sure y'all are chilling and hanging out and watching stream. I appreciate it. It healed pretty okay though. I used to could barely walk on it without limping, but now it's okay. Just took lots of time and care, I imagine. The clan is prospering. Added a second contribution pot near the southern field. Ooh. Zeta wants to show you the happy bee home she made. Ooh, we can go check out the beehive. Wants to show you a tool she made to improve the way we fish.
What are you doing?
Welcome!
Hi.
Hi, Lady Rain. That scared me, all those noises. Forgot all that happens in here. Let's pet the bunny. Oh, I was just reading all the... Yeah. Yeah, I'm live. I'm in the lounge. Girl! I'm glad you didn't say anything inconspicuous that you shouldn't say. But yeah, we're live.
Look, I've been just having fun with my beavers. Can't help
Okay.
it.
Well, good job. But yes, we're live, and Lemon has gone to go get some dinner, and then she's going to join as well.
Hell yeah.
I'm checking on the beehives and such. That was a trap. Oh, I don't remember what Momo got in the traps. Do you? It's not there anymore,
no
though.
clue.
Oh, there's some stuff I can harvest. Burnout group. So Jet, I can't remember. You probably don't, but do you play this game? Do you play this game? I just like to know who plays it and who doesn't. Let's see. Oh my gosh, did you go in the house and I need to talk to you and you just went into the tent? You saw that, right?
Nope.
They're like, oh no, they're here. I'm gonna run into the tent right now. So... That was rude. It got dark and they ran into the tent. I get it, but you saw me coming and you ran into the tent. So that tells me you were being rude. Michigan booped KimonoKat on the nose. Thanks for the boops. Joffrey is on a 3-stream streak. And then Joffrey booped me on the nose. I wonder what you use the feathers for later. Yeah. It's cool. I like boops.
Do you have the room code?
Yes, it's in the chat. It's already ready for you.
Okay, cool.
My bunny. My bunny followed me all the way out here.
It happens when you have it set to follow.
So do I have to like end the day for you guys to join? Oh, no, there it goes. It says waiting for joining player.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jet, I'm glad you can walk pretty much normal now. Because I couldn't imagine. Oh, I did not mean to sing to the animals. I always end up singing to the animals. Playing music to them.
Damn, you didn't even water anything.
I picked everything, and then I got sidetracked. Because I started smoking everything, and then I took all the leftovers to the pot, and then I realized, oh, there's task I gotta do. And so I went to go get the honey thing, and yeah, so here I am. I went really slow today. I'm just chilling. I was not trying to win any races today.
That's fair. I'll just water everything.
But I am on my way back, but it'll probably be late by the time I get there.
It's only about midnight.
Yeah.
Still got some time.
Hello. Let's see.
It's definitely a little harder to see for sure.
Oh yeah, I can't tell what's watered and what's not.
Because
you can't hold your
it's watered.
You can't hold your torch and water at the same time.
Yeah. We don't have fancy glow rings like Stardew.
I know, we need glow rings. I can barely see what I'm doing. Hello? You laughing at me? You laughing at me, Michigan? No. Desi, 7 stream straight. Thank you so much, Desi, for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm trying to water without water. That's the problem. I tried to fill up with the flower pot versus the
yeah, that doesn't work. I literally just filled it.
I know. It's like tried to use the wrong thing. Did a good job. I think we're done. And oh, we passed out.
At least they're watered.
We did. We did it. We did it. We managed to do it, and we passed out, but it's okay.
I love that.
But yeah, I was sharing my chocolate with everyone.
Really good quality. You shouldn't sell the really good quality stuff. Like anything that's the little black circle or the triangle.
What do you do with it?
I can cook it and it'll be better quality.
Okay.
It stays the same quality.
Well, to be fair, I cooked almost everything that was good quality. It's all sitting in the dehydrator right now.
No, it's not.
And that was the best stuff.
It's sitting in my pocket.
Well, it was sitting in the dehydrator. And then I pocketed the tomatoes that were normal into our chest because I wanted to keep some kind of fruit in there because we want to cook recipes or something. Sharing is caring, yes.
Well, at least we wake up at the same time every day. And just with a little less, though.
Alright. Come on.
I have no idea if there's anything there, but I'm watering it just in case.
You never know. This is not the one I want. Oh, the other pot's ready too. On the fire. I think it finished.
What pot?
The other contribution pot.
Oh! The one at the south side.
Go across right there, but it's not. Michigan, what are you sharing today? Shade! Oh my gosh, welcome, Shade. Anora. Rack. How do you say it? Anorak? Anorak? Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Thank you for sharing your Prime sub with me. I appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I'm trying to find... How are things? Things are good, Shay. They are good. Relaxing. With some Pacha. What a better way to spend a Sunday afternoon, right? Thanks for the hype, Michigan. Thanks for being the hype man and the hype for the sub. Thank you. After watching bees work, I admire them even more. But more importantly for us, I've learned what kind of place they like to build their hives. Michigan! Thank you so much for the Prime sub for 22 months too, guys. Thank you both for the Prime subs. I appreciate it. It made me feel special sharing your Prime subs with me. There seems to be a relationship between them and the flowering plants that live near. So you might want to experiment with in your fields. Oh. So different kinds of plant flowers might produce different kinds of honey or something weird?
Well, that's what happens in Stardew.
Yeah. I've never experimented with that in Stardew either.
Neither have I. I literally just let the bees do their thing.
Sundays are bad days for me now. If it were Friday or Saturday, I'd be ecstatic. Oh no. Why is it bad? Why is it bad? Do tell. Okay, so did that. So where's the beehive at? I don't even remember.
Bro, you might have to go pick it up.
Well, I'm here. I just talked to the lady. Oh, she did give it to me. Never mind. I'm so slow. She did give it to me. Because I always close work on Sundays and it takes forever and a day to go by. Oh no. Are you at work now then? You're like, just hurry up already. I want to be done.
Yeah. Work is work. Gotta make money somehow.
Yeah. What the ostriches? What are you? Why are you green?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
Why is that baby ostrich green?
I don't know.
Maybe it'll be the first ostrich we bring to our barn. Baby green one. I don't think I had a green pet before. Alright, I didn't leave any of the tomatoes or anything on me. I don't even know what they eat. Will it eat that? No. Let's see. You already played music for it. I know. Sesame seeds. I see you guys. I want the green ostrich. I'm getting you all the seeds.
I see that. I really don't want to plant more though because
No, you don't have to. But I'm sure some of those plants I'm sure you like harvest and then they like need replaced though, right? Like they don't all just continuously reproduce.
Yeah, but I used all of my stamina and then some.
She has no energies.
I'm low on energy.
See, that's what we need too. We need the alpacas or whatever they are too.
Yeah.
It's not really the one I wanted to attune to, but it's happening. too soon. There we go. Make them happy. No, I don't want to play the flute. No, stop! I just want to get it. Just want to. There. Want to ride my animal? Hey, get out of here! Ooh. Chili seeds. Ooh, a new seed.
Ooh.
I mean, we can grow chili peppers.
Mm-hmm.
Or shade. Stop doing all the work things. I did grab some almonds, but I didn't grab many.
Mostly you literally have one almond.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird that, you know, you like pick a whole tree and you get one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should get 3. At least.
You would think.
From a tree? Like, oh, I see this almond tree. I'm just gonna put 1 almond in my bag. Because that's all I need. Just 1. So let's see. Where do I want to put this? Where do I want to put the honey thing, Rain? Down here with the mushroom? Okay. Alright, I'll put it on the corner. If it lets me. There it goes. Ta-da! We have a beehive, thanks to Momo's work.
I'm sure once we can make up some space, we can put it in the middle of the garden.
Ooh, eggplants. More eggplant seeds. I'm so glad the seeds don't take up much room in your inventory. Like, you know, fill it up and you can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I'm going back to sleep.
You have literally 32 pieces of poop in here.
That's okay. I'm living there.
Now you have 38. Jeez. How much poop do you need?
All of it.
Let's mint. Okay, we're gonna go look at the other one for the mint. You have lots and lots of thistle that I have no idea what we do with. Lots of lavender.
Penny.
Burdock. Is the almond in there, I guess? Almond probably goes in the other one though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Even though there's no almonds in here.
It's probably because we used them all. Actually, I probably made it into oil.
And then I'm gonna put this miscellaneous fur into here. Alright. It's time. It's like too late to do anything. I can explore a little bit. See if there's any tomato seeds. Alright. Time for sleep.
I cut the gas station salt.
Why? What happened?
The Pepsi I bought is like 5 days expired.
Oh no.
I'm sure it's fine, but yeah. I'm still busy.
My tea is pretty much cold now.
Yeah, I have a mug, but it's holding my sour punch like thing.
I want some sour punch straws.
It's what's left of my bag that I bought like an hour and a half ago.
That sounds yummy. I kind of want to go make some more tea real quick. Or at least put it on and then come back and get it. So I'll be right back, guys. I'm here. Yes, I'm running away. Artist is here.
I play 2 games at once. Let's find out. I'm gonna kill Steam. I'm not. Interesting. Oh, excuse me. I can, by the way. I can play 2 games at once. If anyone wanted to know about playing games on Steam.
My tea mix. Man, that was good timing. But yeah, I will put on my black ears because Artist is here. Oh. We'll put on the black ones. Time to stop streaming now. Right. See, I got my Chromie on. So we got the black ears to match Chrome now, too.
I'm playing
don't
with
have
my
to
beavers
request this
and
time.
Pacha.
Yep. That's nice.
Look, my beavers are just running around on the other screen.
She's multi-gaming, guys. Multi-gaming.
It's great. It's worth it.
So it's one of those games you can sit and just let them do their thing, right? Kind of like Cookie Clicker.
Yeah, pretty much. Playing Pacha with Mona, but also have my beavers going. Pacha? Where's the Pacha?
Hi.
But I have my beavers going over here.
This fan.
I have my beavers.
Oh, I turned off the light, not the fan.
Good job.
Well, the light is connected to the fan. Oh well. It's just more ambiance for tea time.
Yeah.
There you go. More ambiance. Ambiance. However you say it.
Ambiance.
Don't tell Rain I have buttons. See, my sundered tomatoes made lots of money. Nice.
My beavers are fine. They're okay. They're just doing their thing. I started all over again.
Fight, Artist. Cat fight. One word. bunny?
I don't know. Where is it?
There it is. Pet.
Oh, drought's approaching. That sounds about right.
I'm gonna give my bunny all the love so that the bunny will be my friend. Rain hard at work as I trample the crops with my beast.
Literally every time.
See, my bunny's gonna help me water all the crops for you. You did it.
Yeah, if only I had opposable thumbs.
I need to text you this dream I had. You made a cameo in it. Oh, okay. Tell me about it.
What? Interesting.
A wild Igglypuff appeared.
Igglybuff.
Yes. Let's see. Oh gosh. Rain screamed.
Oh yeah, I haven't texted in the thing yet.
Nope, you're a slacker.
No, instead you got Tom Hiddleston screams.
Yes. Well, check. See, that never works for me. I don't know why. It doesn't allow me.
Rose, you're back.
Hi, Lemon!
Hi.
There is a game code in this voice chat. Top right hand.
Laura, shut the fuck up.
Chat box.
Oh gosh, hold on, let me see if I can.
I can't hear him. I could like barely. Yeah, I could barely hear him. He's fine.
Okay.
I also just happen to have you up quite a bit, so.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Rain has
If
you
it
on
gets
full
annoying,
No,
if
you're
it gets
fine.
annoying, just let me know.
I'm pretty sure stream cannot even hear him, so.
Someday I'll get a good microphone that I can like adjust settings on.
I still don't know that it would work that well with them right next to you, so.
Alright, almond oil, sesame oil is gonna be happening.
Okay, you want to be...
See what I can do with these guys.
Alright. There we go. Get some milk going on. Do-do-do-do.
I don't want to get rid of any of these pigs, because...
Let's take this milk over here,
Sure
make some
Oh
cheese.
no! The drought started.
A what?
Sorry, my
Drought.
fingers.
I was like, wrong game. KimonoKat, Joffrey,
Gotta keep an eye on them.
and Lady Rain called the Pokemon.
Damn right.
Pet.
Ooh. Wait, what is that?
I was able to pet the buffalo.
Oh, I will find out, 'cause I have no idea what it is. Oh.
The little buffalo, let me pet it.
Oh. Look, we have domesticated sesame.
Nice.
I was wondering what the green, like, bean-like things were, and it's literally domesticated.
You need more points for the gun show? Rigged? Poor artist. Artist
I'm
is
just making
rigged.
oils, don't worry. Someone's gonna do it.
She did not get it. She got the Pokemons. Since finding water around here is pretty easy, I've been adding fruits and herbs to the water, like Ida does with her teas. Oh, they're making tea!
You would really like Timberborn.
I let one sit for a long
It's my,
time, and it started to have a strong but
Beaver
nice
City
burn to its taste. I think if we had a way to make these drinks more consistent, we could have something really delicious. Oh, wonder if he's trying to make wine.
Ooh, you can dry strawberries.
Any juice, hardwood, and plant fiber. Oh, save juice if you make juice. How do you make juice?
Okay.
We need 5 juices.
I pressed it. Okay. I'll do what I can.
Need 5 juices.
I'm currently making oils though.
Because I feel like
I'm
we
making
could.
sunflower oil now.
Oh, I think we can get the guy to make us some wine. Good show, 2000. Okay, all right. Here you go. I gotta find the right thing. There we go. Here you go, Michigan. All right.
Oh no. Okay, so that's a bad spot for that. Where is it?
All the muscles. If she'll ever look at chat, I did just look at chat. I know, I'm slow. Look at who? Ay, ay, ay. Don't even. You guys are silly. Oh, I should go. Well, no, I can't go. I'll have to go at the end of this round. Just like, then I'll go get my tea. So, were you able to join, Lemon? Or you try it?
My character right now.
Oh. I don't want to forget about you, most likely.
Alright.
Peckle puppy.
I am cooking all the things that can be cooked or changed into something.
Okay, because I need juice. Juice.
Look, I'm working on it, but I don't got any juice.
Because we don't have fruits, do we?
It doesn't let me press tomato, otherwise I'd make tomato juice for you. But it doesn't let me.
I wonder if it has to be like pomegranates or something.
Yeah, probably. I was just gonna go through our boxes.
So I'm gonna look and see if I
Figure
can
it out that
find some pomegranates.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Lennon is joining! I gotta show you my new boots. Okay. Boots. Boots with the fur. Let's see. Those are so cool. Got you some traditional cowgirl boots. I like.
Tomatoes. You know what? I'm just gonna find out what I can and can't do. Okay, well, I can grind amaranth to make flour. So,
See.
I think that'd be even more fun with amarantha. But,
Damn, it's so long.
Okay.
Big Clement was paying attention, it's okay.
Yeah. Alternative now.
I think Lemon's the only one who would understand amarantha.
What up?
And pine
It'd be
cones. There's
interesting to turn her into flour.
so I need like what 5 pomegranates? Probably.
You just need juice in total, right?
I need 5 juices.
Okay, well, I just made carrot juice.
Yay!
Oh, and I can make tomato juice, so I guess I'm gonna sit here and make some.
Okay. And I'll
got
bring back
seeds. Can I-
unknown
Forever.
knowledge raised pomegranate knowledge
Yeah, as long
has
as you're
2.
willing to water them too.
Oh yeah.
Takes a fucking
Empty
village to
spot.
water these.
Yeah,
It's,
Rain gets
I
tired
was
of
saying-
watering. Because I'm a deviant and I'm like all over the place. I'm like forager and all the time.
Alright,
Let's see.
your juice is in the blue crate.
Yay! Okay. I'll have to go get some juice. And there's some mushrooms. Oh. And where's my animal? My bunny followed me fully.
That's alright.
Go, go, go. Hey, what is that? Oh, new seed discovered. Sweet potato.
Ooh, a sweet potato.
We got sweet potato seeds. Got all the sweet potatoes.
Good. Ugh.
Let's see.
Water thing.
Huh?
How do I fill my water back?
Oh, that's the vase.
Oops.
You come over here.
This, yeah, the well's a little higher up, but it's trickery. It's actually a flower pot stuck in the ground with holes in it, and it kind of serves as a sprinkler.
It's okay, I refilled it.
It's a makeshift sprinkler.
So long. Yeah, this works. I'm just trying to remind myself.
So somewhere you said you put
The blue box.
Blue box. Okay. Juice. Yay. So there's 5 tomato juices. I could just try those, see if they work.
And now I'm gonna make some almond cheese.
And I brought back pomegranates.
No one can tell me I can't make almond cheese. What's happening, whether anyone likes it or not.
Almond cheese? I mean,
Yep.
go for it.
And the village is dairy free then.
Rando!
Oh.
Hi, welcome.
I wouldn't say they're dairy free, but we can be vegan if we
that's not
want.
my house.
Granted, I'm really good at fishing, as always.
I was always really good at fishing. The fishing is like way.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure though. There's my house. How's it going? It's going good, Rando. Thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm fixing to go grab my tea I'm making. And I have chocolate morsels. I hope your Sunday is going good. Be right back. In sleep mode.
Okay, so
How do I go to sleep?
where are you at?
I'm in the house with the old.
Okay. Do you remember which one you started in?
I thought one.
So this one's mine.
Oh.
I think you could just go up to the side though and try and sleep. You just left click.
Okay.
Also, I love that we're matching. I'm going up to my own house. We gotta get you a house.
I don't mind sleep. Grandma and Grandpa's house.
That's fair.
Crowley, I don't want you.
It's going well. I'm glad that's going well. It's going good for me too. I slept like all weekend, I think. Pretty much. I did get chores done. When I wasn't doing chores, I was napping. But it was nice. It was nice to get lots of sleep. I don't usually rest that much, so I don't plan on sleeping all week though.
No?
So
Sleep sounds amazing.
it was pretty amazing.
Oh, looks for that, right? Alright, I'm gonna pause that one because I can't power it.
Yeah, I have some turmeric chai with honey. Do you know? We've made it a hot tea day. No. I don't want to go to sleep.
Sure about that?
Yeah. How do I get my bunnies level up? Maybe I gotta feed it carrots?
No, you just have to be nice to it and pet it.
I am. I'm
Every
petting the
day.
heck out of it.
Well, yeah, so you have to do it one time and then the second time.
It's following me. I pet it, I have it follow me.
What was that, Rose?
Oh, where are we keep?
Where was you what?
Crop.
Sorry.
As I water
Oh, so the green one. The green box has all the crops. The yellow box is anything that is like a medicinal herb or any type of herb.
Crap.
So if it says herb, it goes in the yellow box.
And hey, wait. What? I messed that up. No.
Garbanzo bean. I got some good quality tomatoes. I make tomato juice.
There.
Ooh, I need to get a thing.
A wild onyx appeared. What catch? You're catching Pokemons. Let's see. What do we want to do today?
Yeah, because if you grind the
Do we want to eat somebody?
they turn into plant.
Eat the bot because
Makes
it never
burgers.
gives me my Pokemons. And
Wild almond milk cheese. Yay. Oh goodness, you were hard at work.
I don't have the boop thing. There. I don't think I have command on my deck for boop. Artist gets the boop.
Okay, you don't have the boop.
Yeah, I don't have it on my stream deck. I couldn't just push a button. Okay. Actually, I gotta come over here real quick and get some supplies.
Ah. I think I wanna.
And I need. What else do I
Yes,
need?
I still wanna remove it. That's fine.
Herby things. I need grass. And then I need to go to talk to Ron.
There we go.
Come on, Ron. What you got for me?
We lost the bees, but we'll have more of a radius.
That's the animal thing. What you
Brandon.
Thanks, Ron.
Watering every day because I'm almost out. All I've done.
No.
Yes.
Let's see. Map.
Yeah.
Where's Ron?
Real fun when it's literally just you. Because that's all I did every time it was with Moto and Momo. They went off and wandered, and I'd be over here watering things and
We're
cooking.
terrible. Okay, so he's. I'm terrible. Hey, I've done a little bit better about watering this time. Especially when it was just me playing. Idea. Research.
I'm gonna figure out what else I do.
And then
Brewer.
Reese. Why are they going that way? Okay. We can go that way. Onyx has been caught by KimonoKat. You guys got robbed. Oh, y'all didn't even try. No wonder you got robbed.
No. Okay, well I can ferment eggplant. Good to know.
I have a feeling they're all by the little campfire thingy up here.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have coconut milk cheese too.
Okay, Reese needs your help building a creative gathering spot for the clan. Any wildflower and hardwood. Well, that's easy. I just gotta go find a flower.
I'm sure I can make garlic.
I don't think a mushroom counts. Here, I thought those little white flowers were useless. Now I know they're not.
But yeah.
Now I need to go find one. I saw a wild rain run by. I think it was a rain.
Nope, it was not me.
Oh, it was a wild lemon.
Yep.
What?
Yeah,
You
her and I
ran
are
right past me.
Oh. I'm just
Yeah. Okay, so it's not in there. Oh, please tell me we have them. We do.
Some smoked garbanzo burgers.
Bruh. Okay. And then we're gonna go. You eat this. Stop following. Will you eat this?
But I'm gone.
Okay. Now I want you to. Oh. Getting closer. Follow me. Oh, there's oregano. Wonder if that counts as a wildflower. Probably not. There's eggplants ready. Oh, Michigan's looking artist. That's too far. Speed. I don't know why I still like directionally challenged on these maps. Like I can never find the off ramps I'm looking for the side maps. I don't know what it is. I've got like how many hours in this game now and I can't find the off ramps.
It's fine. Also, I think I'm gonna slightly move all of our thingies.
Any wildflower. Oh, I need 10 of them. Oh, dang it. I only brought one. Good job. I hope we have 10.
Waiting on the eggplant. How much is this worth? 36 each.
We do have 10.
What?
That's awesome.
What do you need the deterra for?
I need the flowers. For a clan idea.
No. Fucking clan ideas.
Mm-hmm.
coming up with something.
I see Lemon's in there again. She's being distracted by a cat.
Yeah.
Always.
When do we get kitties in this game?
Never.
I need kitties.
But I got beavers.
I need kitties. Oh, did I go too far? Where'd they go? The peeps all left? They went home, didn't they?
How did we make those?
Pretty sure they went home.
That sounds about right for us.
Ugh. The person I need left.
Oh, Jelrod gave me sunflowers.
Nice. Let's see.
You know what I'm doing? I'm gonna make it into oil.
Okay, where is Reese? Sunflower oil. Oh, there's Reese.
Need it for cooking.
Is where Reese at? No. Everybody's trying to go to sleep. Not allowed. Must be right here.
I work on this so then I can make my beavers build more.
You're having dinner. Oh, their house looks so cool. Why can't my house look this cool? Okay.
I'm finally making the fertilizer compost thing.
They go to sleep. Hi. She did. She went to sleep. Not allowed. Right. All right. Well, we'll look at the next ideas. Ron is working on his new idea. Okay. So I'll talk to that one in the morning. Time to go to sleep, buddy.
Wasted all my energy on. Oh, I went. All my watering.
Oi. But yeah, let's see what can I do. Hey, pipe, level 6. Let's see, Splashes, Michigan. There we go. Boops my own nose. Licked myself. And kissed the bot. It was electrifying. Splashes, Michigan. There you go.
God. It's raining.
Oh, is it? We don't have to. Oh. Yay.
Right?
We really need a weather stone. Or something. Tell weather. Whatever they use to tell weather.
Let's see. let me do things and stuff now. They wake up. Wakey, wakey! Well, yeah, she's already out of bed. Who knows where she is now?
You on the map, right?
Yeah, but she's like super fast and all over the place.
Hey, our garbanzo's gone up. Which means that now we have regular garbanzo. Not all of them, but some of them are.
So momentous.
Great, because now they're gonna be worth more.
Where is Reese?
And Valaris, I'm sure.
There it is. That's the right house? There. Thank goodness. This should do it. Now just need a day to talk to the clan and see what we should include. Thanks so much for your help. Meow. A wild muck appeared. Oh, catch if you're catching Pokemon. No seeds. J. Herb garden. Cool. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh.
Why am I only getting porcupine?
I don't know.
Want some cool fish.
Because it's around the village, unfortunately. It's what we get. And as you skill up, you'll get more.
I didn't want to attune to another buddy. Oh god. God, I don't know which bunny's mine. There's 3 bunnies there. Okay. One of these bunnies is mine, but I don't know which one. The game works, it's making me sleepy. It's definitely relaxing.
I know. I have so much energy, and now.
Right?
Right? I said sleepy.
Saving or selling fish?
Save them. I can grill them up. I put a butt.
It's raining. More sweet potatoes.
Come on. There's not much room for your fat butt, sir. If you don't believe me, here. Oh, okay. This is what you want.
Fish.
Oh, you can just put it in the blue box. So I'll cook it and put it in there anyway.
Oh yeah, note to self, save the little white wildflowers, because we actually do use them. Just so you know.
Oh yeah, if it says it's an herb, it gets saved. That's an herb, ma'am. Put it back where it goes.
Isn't it an herb?
Yep.
Oh, it is. Interesting. Thought it was a weed.
Herbs back where they go.
I was gonna get in here. It makes more sense in here. There. What is that? Oysters. Ooh. I want oysters.
Yeah, I don't think I figured out a way to cook them yet, so that's where they're at.
Lemon's busy.
I'm just standing over here waiting to cook some more bean burgers.
Boots. Did we get any honey yet, or did you move everything again for the 500th time?
Aye. Down here. It takes a couple days for it.
Ah! So we gotta start over because you moved it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look, I got irritated.
You touched my honey pot?
Touch more than that if you'd like.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. Oh my. Poor Momo. She's gonna be jelly, missing out on all the fun. She's being a good person and sleeping early or normal.
I'm really early with her time.
I know. Yeah, she's not staying up till 6 a.m. tonight.
That is very good. I wish I had ability.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. Ago we went out with a friend doors and we stayed out 2 a.m. That's the first time I've been up that late in
A long time.
I feel that.
Let's
what
see.
happened?
Oh god, it's getting dark and I can't
Last
see.
Friday. I was up until at least 2 or
Where's
so.
my ostrich baby? There you are.
1:30.
I'm here to sing you a tune in the rain, my little green baby.
The green ostrich.
Yes. anything. Not yet. We're trying. I cannot see where I'm at all.
Okay. I'm struggling too.
We need glow rings. Think you can hook us up, Lemon? Can you hook us up with some glow rings?
Aren't those Stardew?
Yes.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah,
glow
we're really
rings.
upset that we don't have them, alright? Where I craft down below, don't I?
Mm.
That's real helpful, Mono.
You moved everything, so yeah. No, your all your stuff's top right of the garden.
No, not that. Not food.
Oh.
Actual things.
Yes.
How do I do that?
They have to be awake to let you craft. They're asleep. It's
can't
after.
just teach me how to do it myself.
No, they went to bed, so you know.
This dickhole.
And and then I'm
Does
gonna
wood
take
not
it.
go in this? Does it go in this black box?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
grabbed
black is like wood.
everything because I was gonna go craft shit and some assholes don't want to be awake.
Yep, yeah, you can't do all the crafting things right now.
Well,
there.
I'm gonna go take these things. The pot. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Take my
What are you trying to do?
Contribute, and instead I was throwing them away.
I have no potato chips. No potato chips.
Ma'am, I'm mad at you. Don't just throw random things. I like my mushrooms and stuff.
Let's see.
Weird. You threw an herb in there?
I throw all the things that are extra in there. Shade.
Oh god, I'm gonna pass out.
Because you're too busy complaining.
I was busy cooking.
Ah, sure.
Look at all that shit I cooked for you and then contributed because they were the low quality shit.
I see nothing. Chat sees nothing. Sure.
I got you 1,200 contributions.
Okay, we'll change it. Woohoo! Anybody eating something really awesome tomorrow? Thank you, Shane! Nope. Thank you for 25! Like Labor Day, everybody like cooks out and stuff. Does anybody actually do that?
Don't usually.
No. I work.
Let's see.
Oh god. Hold on.
The bunny doesn't trust me enough to do fetching, but yet it follows me around every single place, every single day. I don't know. He's finished, yay.
Where do we
I'm
want
finished
the
too.
art center? I'm putting the art center next to my place. That way it's easier for us to get to.
Is that what Reese finished?
Yeah, I didn't realize that she was finishing that. And I went to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
And then Ron. I gotta go find Ron now, because he's doing a thing for me too.
I'm exchanging for a bunch of the little thingies.
Bruce decided to go behind my monitor.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We all know how much I...
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Brina.
Fucking
Brews help water stay fresh longer, and they're fun to drink on social occasions. Ooh. Brewer.
Yeah.
Ron has finished an idea. We can brew stuff now!
Oh.
A spear! A harpoon? Oh, dang! I was just
Hell
getting
yeah.
a harpoon to go fishing with.
How are you running? You look like you're running faster, and I think that's rude.
Alright, I got mods on. Just kidding. I don't even think that's possible.
For Ruth and Pacha?
Yeah, I don't think that's possible. Oh. All those strawberries.
Wait. What's he building?
I don't know. Where'd you put the art thing?
Huh?
Where'd you put the art thing?
Oh, it's in the middle of being built, but it's up to the right of my place.
Oh.
It's gonna be over here.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure where your place is.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Oh, cool.
Figured at least have something closer to us.
Oh, Espeon, and I missed Espeon?
What? No one yelled at us?
No. We missed Espeon. But,
Jerk.
Espeon.
Espeon's an
Pokemon.
evolution.
Eevee Pokemon. The pink cat, like,
Oh.
one.
Okay. I thought you meant
Not
it was-
Sylveon with the ribbons,
Confused.
but the other pink one with the split tail.
The one that looks like an alien if it's shiny.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of water. See, now it's not so crowded with all the things that's at the top.
How'd you get the watering thing?
Huh?
How'd you get your fan?
You have to talk to, here, I'll show you. I think you have to have the right things on you, but
I
I
don't.
might, so I can. It's okay. I think I have them on me, so I can just have you. Oh, where does she go? Oh, she's in here. Okay.
So we got all these little containers going on.
You right click her, and then you hit view tools, and then you should be able to upgrade from there. Let me know what you need from her.
20 hardwood.
Oh, here.
Nothing. Oh, can we not do this?
Hold on. There you go. There, go get it.
Thank you. Fetch.
There, now you can go talk to her.
Thank you.
It'll take like a day or two, I think, but...
See. Nice. Okay, so any fermented grain will make beer, any juice will make wine, and any honey will make mead. So when you get your honey, you can make some mead.
Can I dry these?
Yes, you can put them on the drying rack over here. I think so, yeah. Dried strawberries.
Are they the strawberries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dry.
I'll dry the egg.
The what?
Ferment or dry the eggplant?
Ferment it. I think it's more. It doesn't let you dry it anyway. Yeah. Yay. This makes me happy. And I have carrot wine. Interesting.
Carrot?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that, but okay.
It sounded better than tomato wine, okay?
I wouldn't drink it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I feel like you could use, you know, like some with like white wine.
Yeah, so did you turn the pomegranates can get turned into juice, right?
I don't know, actually.
And then we can have pomegranate wine, because that would make sense.
Oh, I thought you said pumpkin.
No, pomegranate. But I don't know what you put them in to turn them into stuff. How do you turn them into juice?
You put them in the press.
This thing?
Yep. Those are only pomegranate.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No, and it won't let me stop. There we go. No, we have 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
So,
I didn't realize that.
I've been getting pomegranates. I go to the trees. There.
All I knew was there was 1 in our thing.
Yeah. No, there was 4, because I added some. Now there's just 2 in there, because I turned 2 into pomegranate juice, so I can make pomegranate wine later.
Any of these people like? Buried Derek in my own.
There. There's bunnies everywhere. More strawberries need.
I hate when I accidentally make myself dance.
Oh, yeah. Dance for us, right?
No, thank you.
I'm out.
Already 7 p.m. Oh, jeez.
Alright, I'm trying to save us.
Okay,
Energy.
pomegranate trees are still blooming, so. What do you mean save us energy?
Oh.
No, you know, the things. The little,
Words?
the thing.
You... Things you're talking about.
The water things. Those things.
Ay.
Words are hard, I can't help it.
You're making flower planter pot watering sprinkler thingamajiggies?
Yeah, I bought like 7 of them.
Sweet.
So, I figure I can save us some energy.
Yeah.
Love that.
See, how in the world did I translate that? We got like 2 words out of her, the things, and somehow I knew what she was talking about.
You know what? We spend too much time with each other. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
I was just saying, it's fixing to be more, so get used to it. I mean, she's moving to my state, so.
I do be doing that.
An hour and a half away from me, so I'm pretty sure time will be added.
My new address.
Huh?
I need to get my new address.
Yeah. So then she can come join stream live. We can do live stream event. It'd be cool.
Already got one nonsense thing.
We gotta figure out what we're gonna do on the live stream though.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be fun. It'd be a special stream.
Oh.
Why am I so sleepy? It's only 9 o'clock and I'm sleepy.
Sleep, baby. So cute.
All I do is sleep, apparently.
Struggling. Like, yeah, I'll be up till like 11. Because I don't have to work tomorrow.
Sure about that?
Yeah. I'm just gonna say I drink my tea. It was good. Yeah, I'm like, why? I think that's what happens to me every time I have time off too. Like, I'll probably just try my best not to sleep tomorrow. That's like the goal. My body's just gonna be like, no, you did one whole task. It's time to take a nap. That's pretty much what it felt like today. Although I did do chores, but do some chores, take a nap, play some games. Sounds like a good day, right? Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's what I did. I woke up, went to Dunkin', got some snacks, did some chores, took a nap, and yeah, tried to do. I did a few more chores, and then I'm playing games, and then I'm gonna sleep.
Well, that line at Dunkin', like a 4-hour nap.
I know. It justified a nap afterwards, right? We needed it because that was a really long line.
We went TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Michael.
Are you gonna buy me decorations so I don't have to?
Ooh, what kind of?
All the Halloween decorations? Duh. All I want. So all year round, that's all I need.
It's all you need. Halloween all year. Oh,
Yup.
I can fetch stuff. Where do we want to send them? The forest, the savannah, or the beach?
Oh. You're a pet?
Go to the beach. Find me some stuff at the beach, little buddy.
I don't think
Buddies.
I can ride mine yet. Ugh, so close.
So I wonder if you could just befriend all the animals and have them go fetch stuff. Like.
Maybe. I don't know though.
Because I can pet everybody and work on heart levels with everybody. So does that mean I can have like the wolves go do stuff too, even though they're not my pets?
Maybe. Nothing yet from them.
You're so cute.
You know.
Gift from Oka. Aw, look, it gave me 4 furs.
Look at our knowledge going up.
Right?
Know these plants so well.
Oh, that's like friendship levels? I've never even looked at the friendship levels. Is that bad?
No.
But yeah, you get 2 friendship levels. They give you stuff, apparently.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I mean, Jorod sent me sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I immediately turned them into sunflower oil. But, you know. As one does.
That's exactly what get sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers around cats anyway.
Look at that. Saves us so much. Hey.
I am only yellow.
You keep him away. You leave him alone.
I was just to him. No, I'll go after Jack.
I wonder if he'll like this grilled fish. He said thank you. I don't think it was his favorite thing, but he said thank you.
Hey, at least he said I don't like this. Or at least he didn't say I don't.
Yeah. I guess.
Oh, how'd the wine turn out? Did somebody grab it?
I did grab it. Here, I gotta put it in there.
I had to go in there too. Wanted to see what it looked like. Oh, carrot wine. Great for dinner parties or when you want to feel fancy. Drink in moderation.
Hey, I think you need to milk your thing.
My ride.
Yeah.
Ah, time to go make some more cheese.
Oh, I don't like that. Do that. There we go. Look at that.
My ride produces all the milk, apparently.
Gyrotis? Ooh, look at you. Catching a fish. Where are you fishing at?
Somebody use the spear to fish with yet?
No?
Is that what it's
That's
for?
the thing now?
Yeah.
Oh, we have it. I don't need
Yeah, I
it
got
yet.
the spear.
I didn't realize that I already had it.
I think when I got it, we probably all got it.
Probably.
Because it was like a gift
Yep.
thing. It
Oh,
wasn't
huh.
it wasn't like a craft thing.
I need to offload some stuff for my kitten fish.
Oh, you can go expand your bag.
Oh, with Fashion Boy?
I think so. We expanded one slot because it took too many hands to do it two rows. I mean, you know, we expanded it at 1 row instead of 3 rows, if that makes sense. One time. Words.
Words are hard.
Yeah. Yeah, we all expanded once.
It's probably gonna fire.
There we go. Where's my green little ostrich baby?
Okay, I'm over here catching fish too. I'll wait for my beavers to finish building their shit.
Uh-oh, there's 2 of them. I was like, if I just sunk to the wrong one. There's not, they've multiplied. There's a bunch of little green ones now. I was curious. Can you just, like, fish anywhere, like...
As long as you go into water and it gives you
So
the
you can
option.
fish out here in the savannah? I wonder if you get different fish.
You do.
And I used my spear! Oh, that's so cool! Okay, I didn't know that. 'Cause I don't fish much. Michigan. Nico, Nico, nee! Find all the crafty things. I bet that's mint. It is mint. Dun, 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 dun. So what do you end up using the lavender for?
It's anti-flea.
Ah, so it's part of the flea medicine.
Yep. Ooh, I got dates.
Dates?
Yeah. If you go down to the beach and you shake some of the trees, you get dates.
Well, that's
Really?
Yeah, not just coconut. I think each tree is a little bit different.
I haven't been to the beach in a while.
The really tall ones are the coconut trees, but the shorter ones are the date trees.
You might run into my bunny down there. I don't know.
Oh, alright. Find out. Hey, there's a cave here. I'm going in it.
Mm-hmm. There is.
My mammoth didn't follow me. I'm gonna leave now. I need my friend.
Got spooky in there, huh?
Well, I'm just...
Oh, there's the kitties! I need them.
You find them.
Yes. I found the kitties.
We love kitties.
We do.
I'm thinking I can ride the kitties too.
That'd be fantastic.
Because otherwise, I don't.
Hey.
Maybe.
Let's see, fishing. You catching anything good?
About to catch something.
Oh jeez, I played that horrible.
Oyster.
Cave Lion, trust you now. You could upgrade your house to have more space for pets.
Just so you know, this guy reminds me of Dayton.
Okay. I have to upgrade my house.
A little darker tone. It's fine. Yeah.
How do I upgrade my house?
You have to talk to the blonde dude that's married to the girl that does art tools.
Okay. And I need supplies probably, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what he says. But yeah, I'll grab some supplies. And then I'm gonna drop things off over here. The mint leaves. The butt ton of amaranth we have. I mean, lavender we have now.
Like, I really don't want a butt ton of amaranth, but okay.
It's lavender, sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah.
Sorry, I'm dying.
Drop off the olive.
My asthma's been really bad lately.
Okay. I got you an olive.
Yay! Olives are great!
Sell the fish that's already been.
Let's see.
I don't know if you wanted to keep it for eating.
Oh.
Where the fuck is the
5 million feathers.
It lacks power? What's lacking power? Oh, that is.
I guess I need to smoke this fish, but the smoker's full, so I'm gonna put it in the blue chest.
Yeah, I have more fish to put in there too.
Till it gets smoked. And I petted Momo's pup. Momo's pup probably misses Momo.
That way I can build that.
Do I need to keep goat cheese or?
Probably sell it as long as it's.
Yeah,
put it in the thing.
because we can make more if we need it for a recipe.
I figured. I just wasn't sure if for like a.
There are recipes and stuff for it, but I don't think we've made it to that point yet.
Do that, yeah.
It's probably the save file we've made it the furthest with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bunny's talking to me. What'd you get? Oh, a pink shell. That's a cool shell. Thank you, Bunny. Wonder how often they can go look for things.
Hey.
Oh, come here. Give me my water bucket.
Okay. So, just so we know, it is, you get more contributions if you grill a fish than you do by making roast fish.
Oh, so grilling versus smoking? Is that what you're saying?
No, like, so the smoked is fine, but like cooking in your house?
Dino.
Yeah, I made 8 roasted fish and I ain't getting shit from it. But one of the Eurotas gives you 101 because it's a good quality, and then you get 3 of them and you get 84. Yeah, it's stupid. I hate it. I'm gonna go figure out what I can do with these dates. Is it a lagoon? It is just straight produce. Alright, so I wonder if I can make milk or something? Can I press them? No.
Art station, plant nursery, small huts, sundial.
That's the only way people use
How do I get him to like upgrade my house?
Is he building something?
No. But it's not an option.
You should be able to ask him, like, instead of like building, to do an upgrade.
Okay. Oh, there it is, the blue arrow. Oh, jeez. I need more wood and more flint. Well, I know what I'm doing.
There's 44 wood in here.
Okay. Hey, I caught the Pokemon. Okay, that helps on the wood, but there's still need more wood and more flint. That's okay. Well, actually, no, I don't. That'll give me enough wood. But I need more flint.
Okay.
Pretty and pink with an ocean of secrets within. The pink shell.
That's some tomatoes juice.
Some tomato.
Yep.
What happened?
She was making sunflower oil and I was waiting my turn to make juice.
Oh, so what's the round things roasting over there? Are those fish of some sort? Look like eggs.
No, that's dates. Dates.
Ooh.
They be the date. Oh, you bitch. I was here first. No. We need a system in place.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
What do you do with the first?
I didn't do nothing.
What is it? Amaranth? You grind it. Oh, the chilies?
We haven't figured that out yet.
Does it let you roast them? Does it let you roast them at all?
Where do I roast?
No roasting? This guy? Like the smoke?
Oh, the smoker?
Doesn't let you. Okay. Yeah, then I guess
I
they're
can also
grind them. Let's find out what you get. Oh, you get flour.
I thought it was
amaranth.
chilies.
Oh, that's amaranth. That's okay. It's okay. We can use the flour.
And a fermented amaranth.
Yeah. Who knows? She might be not as bitter.
Has finished building. The art station is finished. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, I'm making strawberry juice. That way we can make it into strawberry wine.
Ooh.
Nice.
Strawberry wine.
Okay. Ah. You licking me? You better run. You better run.
Juke says, I'm not a I just have high state.
I keep forgetting to romance people in this game.
Well, when I'm low on energy, watch people, because that's what I can do.
That sounds like a good plan. And paying me too many tries to get what I want.
He's screaming in there. I have no idea why. Sorry,
What?
turning. Dalton.
Oh.
Playing a game.
Oh, gotcha.
I promise if it sounded urgent, I would
Roots,
actually be up and
carrots.
figuring it out.
Don't know what they need. Interesting.
I feel that.
Uh-oh.
Actually, is that a way? It is. You were right.
I just gifted Momo's talk a fish. I didn't mean to, but
It sounds like
it
a doctor's
happened.
when you get
You're
your
just
dog
taking-
fit.
Right?
You're just taking care of her pet for her.
Dog
Apparently.
sit. Rover.
upset that I can't make garlic oil.
I just want to cook that.
You know it exists, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have any currently? Oil thing today, like with the pour spouts.
Yeah.
And it has lemons on them.
Oh, yeah.
When I go to sleep, I'll go
Where's my pet? Already nearby, but I can't see it. Well, that's rude. It told me my mount is nearby, but I can't see it because it's so dark. It's like it's nearby. I'm like, okay, so I can't call it. But yet, I can't see it anywhere, so I don't know what it's talking about. I guess I'm leaving without my mount. Because it's so dark, I can't even see it. Call it again, yeah. It's like, you're lying, game. It's not nearby. I can't find it. Oh, you found a bunch of those pink shells, so they're not that valuable then?
Probably not.
Okay. Mussels? I wonder if I bet you use those in a recipe.
I would definitely keep those.
Oh, really? I couldn't smoke them or do...
The bodybuilder of the shell family.
We might get something else for them.
Gotcha.
Oysters.
Oh, let me go get it.
I got it. Let's see.
Ooh.
And don't you turn sunflowers into sunflower oil?
Yes.
See? Has a little spout thingy.
Oh, so cute. Adorable. I love it.
That is cool.
It's $3 at TJ Maxx.
Fuck yeah.
Does it work good?
I haven't put anything in it yet. I need to wash it. So, I know it's still early, but I'm probably actually going to sign off to do dishes and clean the litter boxes. But it was fun to play with you guys again. It's been a really long time since I've been able to join.
No, it was fun. Thank you.
Crash here. Pacha, I'm gonna have to play this on my own again so I can remember what to do.
Well.
Okay. Then. Oh, passed out.
I think we have. You were in the menu. For a while,
Good night, Rose. Shane says good night.
Bye, Lemon.
Good night.
Good night. There we go. And send you to the savannah. Check out my ostrich. See how big it's getting. Gotta see how big the ostrich is. It's still a baby. A lot of poop in here.
You know what?
Jeez. Ostriches left a lot of poop.
Super. Oh, weird.
For one ostrich, a fur appeared. Poketch.
Pearl?
Yep. Back here. We need deferred. Don't leave. Rude.
Hey, the honey's ready. Let's find out what kind of honey we got.
Yeah,
We
now we
got
can make
just
mead.
plain wild honey. That's okay. Heck yeah. I'm gonna. It's fermented. Oh no, we just throw it in. Okay, cool. I love
Now you
that
can make
design.
mead.
Yeah, I just threw it into the thing. All that work and we didn't even get the fucking Pokemon. Let's look at a little bit. I'm gonna make sure I have that.
Pupper. Boop. Put all the furs in here. More poop for Lady Rain.
I'm still working on what I currently have. It's been a slow process. Takes forever to make compost.
Oh, we can make strawberry wine, I bet.
Yeah.
That
if
would
you
be yummy.
throw it into the thing, I can always ferment it or make it into juice at least.
That would be yummy. Something in there at the moment, so.
Yeah, I have mead. You have to ferment it first. Or, not ferment it, but juice it.
Turn it into juice.
Yeah, so I could do that in a little bit. That way you can go explore, like you've been doing.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
You're our expert explorer.
I know, gotta get all the things. Let's see.
Someone's gotta stay home and take care of the farm.
Wild strawberry juice. I'm making lots of strawberry juice. Because we're almost to the point that we need another bin up here. I almost should just put one next to the wine thing for nothing but juice. Because we've got so much juice, like build just a juice container.
Right.
And then that would like free up room.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how to build one.
Oh, I figured out how to.
Best quality tomatoes. We get the highest quality now.
Right, we do.
I'm like, dang.
Oh, I still need wood for that too. Rude.
I get a couple pieces to drop in there.
Oh, jeez. Is that a lot though? I'm gonna have to go cut shit down.
Probably gonna have to cut stuff down because we've only got like a little of each thing. I'm putting everything I have in here.
Okay. And we're gonna throw these all in here.
J. Aw, 5 foot from acre. It's a great day to race. No, thank you.
Oh yeah, it's Saturday, isn't it?
Oka and Juko want the wolves to have easy access to water.
Oh.
Huh.
Okay.
So they're building a thing? Okay. I like the ones that we don't have to do anything for. It's just telling you that the clan's building something.
Yeah, once we get the contributions over.
I mean, not like they don't have rivers on both sides to drink out of.
Literally.
And they're pretty much building it next to the river. Like.
Did it at least give you the option to choose where you put it? Because that's what happened with the one thing.
Oh, not the
okay.
clan is prospering. There's view on map. I don't think. Oh, change region maybe? X?
Oh no.
Center?
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't let me pick that one. It's just a little thing. It looks like a little tiny well spot. Just more things to run into when we're trying to move.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it be? I think I can make one.
But you said you shake the palm trees?
Yep. But they have to have something on them.
Hmm.
So the little ones give you the dates, the tall ones give you the don't hit them. Just chop them down. Are you chopping my trees?
I chopped one down. It'd be okay.
Go to the forest.
I wanted to see what if it gave me special wood. It didn't though.
No, it doesn't.
There's a pink shell. Oh, there's a stomp. Somebody left just a stomp. I'll chop that down. It looks like you've been here recently.
Yeah, I was literally there last game day, I think.
It's a pink shell. Kale. Ooh, I didn't see this path before. I didn't know I could go this way.
Maybe it's one hour.
Oh.
Hey. You sure? Hey.
Yeah. I'm not really interested in the cave, although I could go look a little bit. Let's see. Oh, that's right. This cave is like you need stronger tools or something, if I remember right. Maybe not. I don't remember. Yeah, stronger tools for some of the stuff. There's darker rocks. So there's a different there. This is where we get that other kind of stone or whatever, probably, that we need.
Oh, probably, yeah.
I just have to upgrade our tools or whatever to do that.
also, I made more of the wine thingies.
Oh, cool. So we can have more wine producing at one time.
Yeah.
When did it get dark already? Dang. Look, we just started this day. Healthy, well-fed. Just funny because we don't really feed them.
No, we don't. What happens when you drink the wine? I don't know. Guess you get to find out.
15 stamina. You don't try rainbow colors. Dang it.
Damn.
Oi. Oh, I think it's time. Unless you need another day for something you're working on.
No, I'm just reorganizing shit again.
Let's see. But yes, I am sleepy. Thank you guys for hanging out though. And thank you for playing, Rain. But yeah. Hope you guys had a good Sunday. And most of us, I imagine, get one more day off. Some of us don't. So hang in there, guys. Hopefully you get a day off soon. And I hope you get to eat something yummy and amazing tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna eat yet. I really want barbecue, but I don't know of any good place to get it from. So I don't feel like cooking it either. So I don't know what's gonna happen. It might be barbecue potato chips. Because I have a craving for chips right now because I'm out. I have no more chips. I had those little snack bags of like the baked Lays and they're gone. I buy like the big box and then just like it takes me like a month or so to eat them all, you know? And now I'm out. So I'm like, maybe I'll go get some chips and I don't know yet. I don't know what I want tomorrow, but again, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for watching stream, and we will catch you next time. Definitely Friday. So, say good night, Rain.
Good night.
Good night.